Hey Blueprint staff, it's your co-editor-in-chief Paul Zamanda here. Today we're going to do a quick review of some AP-style grammar and mechanics rules that you may or may not have forgotten since August. Over the course of the last few months, I've been reading and editing your published articles, and I've noticed a few things that many of us have either forgotten or simply could be doing better. In the following slides, I've included real examples from articles that have been published on our website, and it's not to call anyone out in particular, but just to show what we need to keep in mind when we're editing. So first, there's the comma with the coordinate conjunction. Just as a reminder, the coordinate conjunctions are for and nor, but or yet so. You can remember them with the acronym fanboys. These conjunctions need to be preceded by a comma whenever they are followed by both another verb and noun. Here are a few examples. In the first sentence, the coordinate conjunction is so, and the noun before it is it, while the verb before it is was. And on the other side of the conjunction, the noun is I, and the verb is grew. Because the sentence has two separately stated nouns along with two separate verbs, aka a complete sentence on either side of the coordinate conjunction, it needs to be divided by a comma before the coordinate conjunction, right here after school. And this rule also applies to scenarios in which you're just restating the exact same noun, such as in the second sentence. There are two individual verbs, have and think, but there is only one noun, I, repeated here and here. So does this sentence still need a comma to divide it? The answer is yes. The key thing to remember is that whenever there's a complete sentence on both sides of a coordinate conjunction, they need to be divided by a comma before the conjunction. And as a side note, I've noticed that many people seem to be forgetting that yet and so are also coordinate conjunctions. Those are just the ones that I've most commonly seen without a comma. So make sure that you're aware that they are, in fact, coordinate conjunctions. The next thing that I've seen confusion on is the hyphen. You can find the hyphen 2 keys left of the backspace, and it's the small line on the bottom of the key. And we use hyphens to form compound words, which can come in the form of nouns, verbs, or even adjectives. Here I have a few examples from the blueprint where the writer could have used a hyphen, and I wrote the properly hyphenated form underneath. In the first two examples, the first two words should be linked with a hyphen because they are being used as one collective descriptor to modify their following noun. In this case, all female is modifying cast. For the third example, spray paint should be hyphenated because it comes from the compound noun spray paint. And so when you're using it as a verb, you need to indicate that it's being used as one collective verb, and a hyphen does that for you. And finally, the last example is just a compound word that needs to be joined with a hyphen in between spin and off. And if you're ever writing compound noun, verb, or adjective and aren't sure whether or not it needs a hyphen, just be sure to look them up in the AP Style book. And finally, there's the dash. I haven't necessarily been seeing any problems with people using dashes, but if anything, I feel like we could be using more of them. Dashes are best used to show drama or interruption, and most people often think that the ellipses is supposed to show drama, but not in journalism. Here are a few examples where we could have used a dash. In both of these situations, the writer tried to use a comma for either a dramatic effect or an interruption, but that could have been used more effectively with a dash in place of the comma. And in case you don't know when you're allowed to use a comma, as long as there is a complete sentence on at least one side of the dash, feel free to use a dash. And that's all there is for today. Remember, if you're ever unsure about any other grammar or spelling rules, just check the AP Style book. And on that note, great job this semester, and let's have a great one next year.